Hey, what's going on, everybody? Hey, we're going to make this quick, and we got a chance for winter weather Saturday into Sunday. I hope you guys enjoyed this latest update from Subby's Weather Talk. Oh, my goodness. We got lots of information to go over tonight, guys. Lots of information. So, looks like we've got... Oh goodness, yeah, we've got a couple 300 people on all the platforms on right now. So give me 1 sec, answer a couple questions here. People wanting to get into the stream but don't know where to get into it at. So just answer a couple questions. So we've got lots of information to go over tonight, guys. We've got looks like about all together we've got right at 400 people in the stream right now. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. I will be updating this entire live segment on all the social media platforms in case you missed part of it. I am going to try to answer all of your questions tonight. I've been pretty much bombarded with questions from private messages, the phone calls, the text messages, pretty much all day today. So I will caution everybody that we have got this storm system is still out in the Pacific Ocean. It hadn't even hit California coast yet. Okay. However, most of the models are kind of coming into agreement. They have kind of held steady over the last about 12, 16 hours. So I want to get some wording out there to you guys, show you what we can expect. Likely by Saturday morning, we should have a good handle on this storm system because it will be moved into the United States, likely over right around Arizona, and we're going to have a better idea of where this low is going to track. Okay, I am following chat tonight. We have so much information. I'm going to get through the information. If you guys want to maybe hold your questions until the end, and that way I can start going down through all the questions. I'll try to answer as many as I can, and we'll kind of go from that. Thank you guys so much for coming in. Real quick here, Lucky, glad to see you guys on here. Yeah, Thomas Strauss. I'm drawing action figures on the map again. I'm not even going to show you one of the maps that I just saw from AccuWeather. I might show you guys at the end. Maybe the kids can get off the stream and I can show you guys why they have got to see these kind of things when they post them out to the public. Incredible. Hey, you bet, Sammy Joe. So, as you can see here on the screen, about 4:30 this afternoon, they started rolling out with these winter weather advisories, winter storm watches that encompasses all of west central Missouri with the exception of Vernon County. Vernon County, we'll kind of get into that. They're still going to get down in Nevada. They're still going to get some winter weather, but I will show you why southwest Missouri is a little bit out of that watch area for right now, and we'll go into it. There's still so many questions that need to be answered as far as where this storm system is going to go for what type of precipitation we're going to get. So here's what we do know for the storm coming in Saturday as early as 3 o'clock in the afternoon. We could start to see some precipitation through Sunday evening. So this is what we do know right now. we are going to have cold, extreme cold temperatures coming in on the heels of this storm system. So we're going to have a polar express, is what I like to call it, wide open right down through the middle part of the United States. It's going to leave us with high temperatures in the single digits. We could have some extreme wind chills to 15, 20, 25 below zero. So it's going to be very, very cold. We're going to have blowing snow on Sunday. We're going to have wind speeds 30 to 35 miles per hour, just shy of blizzard criteria. Sleet. We're going to get sleet and freezing rain as well, likely Saturday night into Sunday morning before it transitions into all snow. So that we do know. Now, here's what happens. This is the reason why it's so tough to be able to pinpoint who's going to get 5 inches of snow and who's going to get 1 inch of snow. Take a look at the positions of the low pressure systems. Remember, this thing is not even in the United States yet. It's still out in the Pacific Ocean. If that low pressure comes in on the southern side, down into Four Corners, or the Three Corners, I should say, Missouri, Arkansas, Oklahoma, we can expect all snow throughout the event. And we could be looking at amounts from 6 inches to 10 inches of snowfall. If that low pressure system comes in a little bit further north, we could be looking at more freezing rain, and of course that's going to cut down on our snow totals. If that low pressure system comes up a little bit further north into eastern Kansas, we can expect sleet, freezing rain, and less snow because it's going to cut down on the snow totals. Take a look at that graphic just to the left of those low pressure symbols. Only 120 miles separate all three forecasts. And this thing is still out in the Pacific Ocean. Just a sway of 30, 40 miles could make the difference of Springfield getting under an inch of snow to Springfield getting a half inch of ice. So it's really imperative that we have to find out where that low pressure system is. And guys, I was actually seeing some visuals that storm chasers and meteorologists and forecasters were putting out back 5-6 days ago for a foot of snow in Clinton, Missouri. So this is the reason why we have to take it slow. I'm not going to sit there and put out any forecast that's going to be Armageddon for West Central Missouri. I'm just going to put out all the information, all the science that I can that we know right now. And then we will continue to enhance the forecast as we get a little bit closer. So let's take a look at the models. And we are going to start off with the latest GFS model. I'm going to put this into motion. And you notice we come to Saturday. Take a look at that. So if we are still in the battleground between the freezing rain, the sleet, and the snow right here in West Central Missouri. So here we are just about 48 hours out, and the models are still being very consistent with us having a battleground of who gets snow, sleet, or freezing rain. Now, after this storm system comes across, you notice we'll have some wraparound snow on the backside of the system. So I still think we're going to pick up some snow on Sunday, but it's going to depend on the temperature profile, and we'll get to that, what makes the difference between sleet, snow, and rain. We'll talk about that here in just a few minutes. As far as total snowfall from the GFS model, let's take a look at this. So total snowfall, according to this particular GFS model, is showing about 1 to 3 inches for most of west central Missouri. However, the northern county, Johnson County, maybe Sedalia, maybe Harrisonville, just south of I-70, they could pick up closer to 3 to 6 inches of snow. But everybody else about 1 to 3 inches of snow. Here's the bad news. Now we're going to go to total ice accumulation. .68 of an inch of ice accumulation. That instantly is a red flag. Power outages. Nobody's going to be able to go anywhere. The town will be shut down with .68 of freezing rain. So that's the reason why only 1 to 3 inches of snow on Sunday, but from Saturday night into afternoon on Sunday, nothing but freezing rain and sleet. So that's just one model. Now, let's take a look at the Canadian model. And I'm picking 3 models that are widely used in forecasting weather. The European model, the Euro, we're going to look at after this one. That has been probably the most spot-on model during winter weather here over the last couple of years. That doesn't mean that it's always right, but it tends to pick up on winter storm systems really well. But let's take a look at the Canadian, and let's start with precipitation type. And we go into Saturday. And again, it's showing that battleground. More freezing rain here in west central Missouri than sleet. And then, of course, wrap around snow on Sunday. Total accumulations. The Canadian model is showing again 1 to 3 inches of snow on average in west central Missouri through the course of this storm system. Now we take a look at freezing rain. Again, a half inch of freezing rain. Guys, a half inch on all of the tree limbs. Thankfully, most of them have lost all their leaves now. But a half inch on everything. Sidewalks, power lines, tree branches with 35 mile per hour winds. That spells power outages. So especially if you live out in the rural areas, you need to be paying very close attention. Make sure that you have backup heat because it will turn very cold on Sunday. Make sure that you're stocked up. It might be a day or two before you can get back out on the road to go to the store. That doesn't mean go out and buy every loaf of bread, every gallon of milk in Walmart. That just means you need to be prepared. And that's what we try to do, get the information out to you, have you guys be prepared in case we do get that half inch of freezing rain. Now, let's take a look at the Euro. Now, the Euro, again, this is one that has predominantly been the most accurate for winter storm systems over the last couple of years. It's kind of my go-to model. Now, remember, these models are going to show us what could happen, not what will happen. Okay, so it's very important that we take a look at these things with a grain of salt. It will show us trending of what could happen. So let's go back up and take a look at the precipitation type for Saturday. And again, there's the battleground. But notice that maybe a little bit more snow closer to west central Missouri than ice. Now let's take a look at total snowfall. and we're looking at around maybe 2 to 4 inches of snowfall here in west central Missouri. And freezing rain. Look at those totals. 0.78. If we got 0.78, 3/4 of an inch of ice. If you guys remember, about a decade ago, there was an ice storm down in southwest Missouri in Ozark, Springfield, all the way down through Joplin and Branson. It was catastrophic. There was trees down, power lines down, telephone poles snapped. It was horrible. Now remember, these models are going to show maximum. They're not going to show a medium or an average. They're going to show maximums. So we have to also take these amounts with a grain of salt. But I guess my point that I want to tell you guys is that all of the models are actually pretty much in agreement with one thing for sure, that we are going to get a winter storm Saturday night into Sunday. Now, exactly how much snow, exactly how much ice we're going to get, because the more ice we get, the less snow we get, and vice versa. So there's only one short-term model that is out currently, and that's the NAM. And the NAM uses real-time data to form its model. We typically come probably Friday night at around 10 p.m. That's all we're going to be looking at. Is going to be the short-term model, the NAM, and the HRRR model comes out every hour. It updates with real-time data. Those are the only models that I'll be focused on, probably starting about 10 o'clock tomorrow night. And we'll really be able to have a handle on what's going to happen. Take a look at these ice totals down here in southeast Missouri. 1.25 inches of ice. Holy cow. That's, this right here, what we've seen so far, Alan, the Pastor Snow Day probability, after looking at these three models, now sitting up there about 85% for Sunday morning. So it looks like, at least, Alan, you're going to get a Pastor Snow Day. Thank you, sis. Thanks for the super chat. I appreciate that. So let's take a look at the NAM. The short-term model comes out every 6 hours. And let's take a look at precipitation type. Now, with the short-term NAM, it does show freezing rain for most of west central Missouri, but it also shows quite a bit of snowfall and some moderate snowfall in west central Missouri. So let's take a look at total snowfall. And now it's picking up, excuse me, 1 to 2 inches for Henry, Benton, Pettis County, but 2 to 5 inches of snow for Bates, Vernon, Cass, and Johnson counties. As far as total freezing rain, about 1/4 inch of ice, which I'll just tell you guys, 0.10, and you're going to have slide-offs. 0.10, a tenth of ice. And we could be talking winter storm warnings, the whole 9 yards. Talking 1/4 inch is even more severe. Now, take a look at those models we just looked at. We were talking 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch of ice. I mean, that's classification of a big ice storm. And if you guys recall last week when we were talking about this storm system coming in, that was my biggest concern from all the data that I was looking at, was a major ice storm. When we talked about the LRC forecast back when was that? Right around December 7th. The LRC was predicting a few major ice storms for our area for this season. And I'm just really concerned that this storm might not put down a foot of snow, but we could be looking at some significant ice accumulations. So even a tenth of an inch of ice is going to wreak havoc out there on the roadways. So we've been through 4 of those models. This is going to be the hazards that I think West Central Missouri need to get into their minds right now, regardless of the amounts, regardless how much snow we get, regardless how much ice we get. Let's take a look at the hazards that we need to be focused on here 48 hours ahead of the storm. So here are our winter storm threats. For snowfall, we're moderate on snowfall. I do think we'll get some snow on Sunday, 1 to 3 inches of snow. This will be our first moderate snow of the season, and you guys know how drivers are in this area with an inch of snow on the ground. Wind threat, very high. And the reason why it's up that high is because of 30, 35 mile an hour winds with ice on power lines, with heavy snow on power lines, is a recipe for power outages. Blowing snow is going to reduce visibilities on Sunday while you're driving. So the wind threat is very high. Freezing precipitation, it is that's sleet and freezing rain. It's borderline in the high threat range. And that's given our overall winter storm threat kind of smack dab in the middle between moderate to high. So what is that telling us? That's telling us that we need to go ahead and prepare. I don't think that there is some outlier data that is showing that there be more mixed precip, like a combination of rain, snow, or rain, sleet, that can really drive down our totals on both ice and snow. And that is a possibility. Like I said, the storm system is still off in the Pacific. It will make landfall tonight. The models will start gathering all the information. And again, probably by tomorrow evening, we'll have a good grasp on what is going on. And you can rest assured I'm going to be updating as we go along all the way through the weekend on what we can expect, and maybe a little bit more fine-tuned of a forecast. But right now we need to prepare for travel implications, possible power outages, especially if you live out in the country or in rural areas. They're more susceptible to heavy power lines and more space in between light poles, more weight on those light poles, and of course more trees being in a rural area. So definitely want to prepare ourselves for that. So we've got all day tomorrow. We've got almost all day on Saturday to get our ducks in a row and prepare for a possible winter storm here in West Central Missouri. Let's take a look at the timing of this. We will use this short-term model for timing. So this is like a radar shot, what radar would look like at 6 o'clock on Saturday night. That's 6 p.m. Notice there's some rain, sleet, maybe some freezing rain. Temperatures are going to be about 33 degrees at that time. So we could see some precipitation really as early as 3 o'clock in the afternoon. But I think the biggest problem that we're going to have on Saturday, as far as traveling goes, will likely be, let's shoot that at, probably between the 1 a.m. to 5 a.m. time frame. And that's going to be Sunday morning. But we're talking late Saturday night, 1 a.m., 5 a.m. That's when traveling is going to probably become dangerous at that time. And then, of course, as we go through the rest of the early morning hours on Sunday and move into Sunday, the road conditions will deteriorate throughout the day. Lucky, thank you so much. Thank you so much for that super sticker. Thank you so much. That's awesome. And hopefully, if you guys notice, any kind of donations, anything that I get, I put it right back into Subby's Weather Talk. You notice the graphics that we've got tonight. It's a little bit more professional looking. It's cleaner. And of course, that software package was made available to all of you guys and your support for the channel. Thank you all so much. So let's take a look at real quick. This is some more information here that kind of weather science 101, but it's very simple. I'll promise you I won't go over your heads here. But the reason why the placement of that low is so important is, and I'm going to back this out just a little bit. So we know that around the low pressure system, winds go counterclockwise. So it's pumping warm, moist air into the storm system from the south. So wherever that low pressure system is going to determine where that warmer air is going to slide into the storm system. So if it's a little bit further south, then we're going to stay mainly in the snow. If it's a little bit further north, we're going to be up here where that inflow of warm, moist air is going to penetrate up here in the west central Missouri, bring us less snow. Probably more so just rain. And that's what it's looking like down here. Ozark, Springfield, Joplin area. They're going to get some wraparound snow on Sunday, but I don't think they're going to have too much problems down there in southwest Missouri Saturday night and Sunday morning. So I'm going to bring up a graphic here. So what determines precipitation type? So if we have that warm nose of warm air that's coming up from the south that I just showed you guys. Now, depending on how shallow or how thick that warm air is will determine on what we get. If you look at that first stage, it's a very broad area of warm temperatures. Therefore, when snow falls out of the cloud, it melts and it falls to the surface as rain. Now, if it's a little narrower, then it's actually going to turn to rain. And then when it hits the ground, which is below 32 degrees, it will instantly freeze. That's freezing rain. That is what we do not want over the weekend. If it's extremely shallow warm air, then what will happen, it will come down as rain, super cool rain, and it will freeze into little pellets and fall to the surface as sleet. And then if we don't have that warm air nose at all, obviously on the far right of this picture, it's all snow. So those are the big differences and something that I look at. Now, there's other data, and for you weather nerds out there, what I look at is from a data standpoint on, well, how do you know how shallow or how deep that warm air is? and I look at a graph called a skew T. I come down here to this area, say, let's pick out Harrisonville, Missouri, and I click on it. It's going to bring up this picture. And all you have to do is look at this chart where my arrow is right here. Let me put on my this red line right here. This is the red line that you see. That is the actual temperature. Temperature is going to go up along the horizontal axis. That's freezing. This is above freezing on this side. This is how high up in the atmosphere we are. This is the surface. This is 500 feet above our heads. So at the surface, we are at 29 degrees. That's the end of that red line at the surface. Look what happens at just a couple hundred feet above our heads. That red line goes all the way over here, and that's the warm nose. That's that warm nose of air that's trying to poke in there to melt the snow to give us freezing rain. Because as soon as this rain comes down and hits the surface, it's 29 degrees. It's going to instantly freeze just like that. So this is one of the graphs that I constantly look at to determine how deep or how shallow that warm nose of air is, and what we're most likely to get: snow or freezing rain or sleet. Hearing aid test, huh, sis? That's funny. Excuse me. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to scroll up here a little bit on chat. Looks like we've got about 700. We got about 700 people here in chat right now on the live stream. And make sure, if you guys are watching on YouTube, make sure that you give a thumbs up on the video, because of YouTube algorithms. The more thumbs up that I get and the more comments that I get, the algorithm will actually shoot this information out to more and more people. So when they go to click on YouTube to see what's on YouTube, my video will pop right up there as a suggested feed. So make sure you give that a thumbs up. So, get a drink here. I got a frog in my throat. I'm still having a hard time getting my voice back from a sinus infection about 3 weeks ago. I can already tell that it's starting to, I'm starting to lose my voice a little bit. And again, I'm going to go through James. I think your question was, how hard is Clinton going to get hit? So, right now, for all of West Central Missouri, that includes Clinton, Harrisonville, Warrensburg, Nevada, Butler, Sedalia, Osceola, Lowry City. Right now, as far as the forecast for our area, based on current data, and this will change, guys, by the time we come to Saturday morning. But right now, I have 2 to 5 inches of snow and 1/10 to 1/2 inch of ice. And if we should happen to get anything in that range, it's going to be very hazardous out Saturday night and Sunday. And I kind of took a conservative approach with that forecast right now. We'll have a better handle on what's going to happen, where that low is going to go. We'll have a lot better idea come Friday night after 10 o'clock when we get those short-term models compiling all that data. Let's see here. Temperature. Okay, yep, let's take a look. We are on the short-term model. So let's just take a look at temperatures. So as we go into, let me scroll this up just a little bit. So as we go into Saturday, let's go into Saturday night. So there's our low pressure system. And see, this is what's kind of neat. You can look at all the maps. And can you guys, after everything that I told you guys know where that warm nose of air is? That's going to be drawn into that low pressure system. It's right here. There's our warm nose of air right there. And notice it's going to kind of clip part of west central Missouri and then move on off to the east. But that's our warm nose of air. So we are going to be on Saturday night. We're going to be into the 20s. Sunday we're going to be probably upper 20s to right at 30, 31 degrees on Sunday. And then on Monday starts the brutally cold temperatures for the entire week. We could have highs in the single digits. We can have lows near zero with wind chill readings anywhere between 15 to 25 below zero next week. So this, whatever ice, whatever snow we get is not going to melt. I'm going to continue to go through chat here, get some questions. Ned, I think I probably already answered that question. When will it hit land? The storm system will hit the California coast this evening. And right now, I don't think it's going to change a whole lot. I mean, it's still going to follow the jet stream, but trying to determine something out in the Pacific Ocean within a 1-2 mile area in the central part of the United States, it's nearly impossible task right now. Logan, how's Sedalia, Warsaw looking Saturday and Sunday? I think I answered that. 2 to 5 inches of snowfall, 1/10 to 1/2 inch of ice. High chance Monday morning. Well, with those cold temperatures moving in Sunday night after this front path or after the storm system goes by us, we're going to have that cold Arctic air funnel in behind it. So it's going to be real tough for the road crews to put any kind of liquid salt on the roads. It's going to be real tough for it. It's going to be real tough for it to do any kind of help out there on the roads when we're going to have temperatures getting down into the teens and single digits. So Monday morning, as far as the Monday morning commute, could be quite slick Monday morning. No, that's minus 20, Ginger. Wind chill. Minus 20 wind chill. Thank you, Deidre, for all the kind words. Jacob? Haha, good try on that one, buddy. I've been caught on that a few times. Trust me, I've learned to read before I speak. You're supposed to fly to Columbus, Nancy. Columbus, Ohio, Monday a.m. early. Oof. Well, at least most of the precipitation is going to be out of there. However, out of Missouri, you're heading east right into this storm, and you better prepare for delays and possibly even some cancellations, because this is going to move on over to Illinois, Indiana, and into the Ohio Valley in Ohio. So make sure you have plans for any kind of layovers or delays. Hi, Misty. Yeah, Ginger. The temperatures are going to get really cold next week. But remember this: I don't know where you're at, but I know here in Henry County, because of my affiliation with emergency management, First Baptist Church here in Clinton, they've already set up and have everything down on paper. They're going to be open most of all next week, and they're open at 6 o'clock at night till 8 o'clock in the morning. They've got free hot food, hot meals. They've got bedding, cots. They got extra hats, gloves, the whole 9 yards. And 209 Jefferson Street, right off the square, here in Clinton, Missouri. So please keep that in mind and spread the word if you're around in the area. I would be looking for a warming shelter of some sort. I'm sure other communities has that as well. Hi, Jana. Your boy wants to travel down here from Belton. How's it look from 10 a.m. till 4? Lucky, what day is that? Let me know, Lucky, what day he's going to be coming down from Belton. Yeah, Brownington PSP be at 100%. Oh, goodness. Yeah, for in the morning, guys, I'm going to have the new TSP and the PSP coming out on social media tomorrow morning. So we'll have our visuals out. He ought to be just fine, Lucky. He'll be just fine from 10 to 4 on Saturday, coming down from Belton. Hi, Sheila. Absolutely. Glad to help. Hi, Debbie. Well, we got a lot of people on these live streams tonight. Boy, it's been a while since we had this many people. Hi, Jim. You're down in the Joplin area. So I touched on Joplin a little bit. I'm sure you probably caught that, but just in case you didn't. So Joplin, Springfield, Ozark, with all the current data right now, you're going to catch some of that wraparound snow on Sunday. But I think for the onset on Saturday night into Sunday morning, looks to be maybe some sleet and rain for southwest Missouri. But again, things are going to change, guys. If you see any forecasts out there with snow totals or ice totals out on social media, you've got to take that with a grain of salt, because I'm going very modestly, because a lot of people kind of want to know what to expect. And I'm throwing out for all of west central Missouri 2 to 5 inches of snow here, with a tenth to a half inch of ice accumulation for our area. Now, those that might live, say, in Harrisonville, Belton, maybe over to Warrensburg, maybe Sedalia, those areas, that's going to be kind of the line. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see a 6-inch snowfall total for areas along that line and just north. How long before it warms up again? Well, we've got, let's take a look at the GFS for that. Let's bring that down to a local level. Wow. Goodness gracious. So this is Monday, January 6th, 9 a.m. And Clinton's at 10 degrees. Kansas City at 8. 7 degrees just over on the Kansas side, Wyandotte County. That's 9 o'clock on Monday morning. Holy moly. 6 a.m. Tuesday. Minus, now these are actual temperatures, guys, not wind chills, actual temperatures. -2 in Lafayette County, 2 degrees in Warrensburg, 4 degrees Clinton, 3 degrees in Adrian, 1 degree in Sedalia. These are actual temperatures, not wind chills. And we get colder. Wednesday morning, Clinton at -2, Kansas City at -5, Nevada 4 degrees, Butler -1, Sedalia -7. These are actual temperatures. That's cold air, guys. Thursday morning, same thing. Guys, we're going to be in a deep freeze for a long time. I'm looking out next Sunday, and we're at 10 degrees in Clinton, 5 degrees in Kansas City. So we're looking at a solid 10 days of very cold temperatures. Shelby's got a work meeting in Overland Park Wednesday. I don't think so, Shelby. I think Wednesday you ought to be sitting in pretty good shape on the main roads. Now, some country roads will likely still have some slick spots. But here's what happens. Because it gets so cold, the air is very, very dry. And that actually helps dry the roads off, if that makes any sense. The salt and stuff that they put on, if we were to get snow or ice on next week in the middle of the week, it's not going to help at all when you get temperatures down in the single digits. It's just there's nothing they can put on the roads to help melt the ice. But I think by Wednesday, I think we'll start seeing the roads really starting to dry up once we get to Wednesday. Saturday evening, how much snowfall coming back home from Branson from Amber. So Saturday night, you're not going to run into any problems, I don't think, on Saturday night from Branson until you come up on 13, to St. Clair County. And at that point in time, you might see some rain turn into maybe some freezing rain or sleet. But one thing I noticed on this last model run before I went live, guys, I wasn't going to bring this up, but I am also seeing some convection with this storm system, meaning that we could have some thunder showers, some thunderstorms that if it's freezing rain and we get a thunderstorm, that's not going to be good. Same way with snow. I'm even seeing some convection as far north as Kansas City. They're in that snow band. They're getting thunder snow, in which you can get anywhere between 3 to 5 inches an hour snowfall rates. So just because we're going to get, I don't know if you guys had seen the wording from the National Weather Service on this winter storm watch that we're under. But they're giving a range from 4 to 17 inches of snowfall. That's their range for everybody in this winter storm watch. So I say they are probably picking up that there could be some convections, some convective storms as well, that could, in certain areas, could really bump up those snowfall totals if you're underneath of a thunderstorm that's creating thunder snow. Billie Jean, Clinton to Westwood. Westwood, Kansas. If it's Wednesday or after, I think you're going to be okay. Tuesday, I know there's going to be some schools starting up on Tuesday. That's going to be a big question for even Tuesday morning. But I think by Wednesday, I think we're going to start seeing a lot of the main roads start to dry out. Hi, Jeffrey. Brandon, good to see you, buddy. I know, Lucky, I'm full of great news. It's almost like living in Chicago again, isn't it? Audra, she asks how much ice Cold Camp's going to get. We kind of touched on that. We went through all of the models. Right now, Benton County is kind of in the same kind of forecast that I'm putting out for all of West Central Missouri right now. 2 to 5 inches of snow, 1/10 to 1/2 inch of ice. So regardless of what happens, if that comes to fruit and we get a tenth of an inch ice or 1/4 inch of ice or 1/2 inch of ice, it is going to be awfully slick out there on Sunday, regardless of how much we get. Obviously, the more ice we get, the worse it's going to be. We have to start thinking about power outages, ice buildup on power lines, power poles, tree branches. But even 1/10 of an inch of ice, guys, and then turn around and get a couple inches of snow on Sunday, it's going to be slick. We're going to have travel implications. So, PJ, we kind of touched on that. Tightwad going to release something on Tuesday. The later you go on Tuesday, probably the better. But Tuesday morning is going to be kind of iffy. It depends on how well MoDOT clears the main roads before we get those cold temperatures. If they leave the ice on there, we could have some little pockets of ice, say like in the middle of a 4-lane highway. So you're just going to have to be careful. But the worst will be gone. I think probably from Wednesday morning on, we should be okay. Brandy, Compass has already closed offices for Monday. Thank you for that information. So, a question came up again from another message I just got on my phone. Do I think Subby's 1-inch snowfall contest is going to end? I do believe it's going to end on Sunday, guys. So if you recall that back October 1st, we started a contest with Radford Media Group 95.3. I had Subby's first 1-inch snowfall contest. And it's when I will measure the first 1 inch of snowfall at 95.3 radio station. So I do believe that is going to break on Sunday. One winner is going to get a multi-$1,000 prize package, a 6,000 watt John Deere generator, a Chief Snow Globe, snowflake pillows, gift certificates to Green Street Market to buy shrubbery, trees, anything for your yard decor. One person is going to win that. If there's a tie, it's going to go to the person who put their entry in first. And I do believe that this contest is going to end on Sunday. And let's take a look at, as I've got the list right here with me. I brought it home from the Weather Center. Those that have picked Sunday as the first 1-inch snowfall in no particular order. I have mixed these up. We won't know who put their first entry in until the contest ends. In no particular order, I'm going to say your first name and your last name initial you are in the running for that multi-$1,000 prize package. Kately A, Bailey M, Ted W, Jessica C, Janae M. Now there is a chance. Those are all the ones that have picked Sunday for the date of our first 1-inch snowfall here in Henry County. If it comes in before midnight on Saturday, which there is still a possibility of that, that would be January 4th. Those in the running for January 4th: Misty Y, Dana S, Kara W, and Brenton G. Those are the people that are in the running for that multi-$1,000 prize package. And a big thanks goes out to Ag Power, Zach Tribble up there in Sedalia for getting a hold of a great generator for part of the prize package. And of course, Green Street Markets and Integrity Floors. We want to thank you guys for donating some great prizes for this contest. Sarah, I got a phone call, so I think probably missed what you said about Bates County. 37 inches of snow for... No, I'm just joking with you. Giving you a hard time, Sarah. Bates County is going to be in that same forecast for West Central Missouri that I have for right now. It will change, guys, by likely tomorrow night, Saturday morning. This forecast will likely change a little bit. But based on all the data right now, 2 to 5 inches of snow, 0.10 to 0.5. That's 1/10 to a half inch of ice. And based just on that forecast alone, travel is going to be very hazardous on Sunday into Monday morning. I do not, Savannah. She asks Saturday night, you think there'll be any accumulation that will impact travel around 9 p.m. I'm not going to say there's going to be any precipitation falling, because there's likely going to be maybe some rain, maybe some freezing mist, maybe a snow shower. You're not going to have any travel impacts, I don't think, at 9 o'clock. I think it's going to be after midnight before we start to see the road conditions start to deteriorate. Right now, Roger, we're getting snow on Sunday, freezing rain, sleet, maybe a mix of rain and freezing rain, maybe a mix of freezing rain and regular rain comes in Saturday into Sunday morning, and then a switch over to all snow. Saturday morning, Amy, she'll be just fine. If she wants to go Saturday morning, that's fine. And actually, once she gets about south of Bolivar, and again, that's what we looked at a little bit earlier, was Southwest Missouri. They'll probably get maybe some wraparound snow, but right now, it's not looking all that bad for Southwest Missouri. They might pick up a little bit of freezing rain, a little bit of snow as that system ejects out into Missouri. But definitely north of Pittsburgh, Kansas, to Bolivar, to Rolla, and north is where the worst of it is going to fall. Hey, a big shout out to the Golden Valley Tractor. Thank you guys so much. They sponsor our Storm Track live segments, and they actually go with Radford Media Group, and they allow us to have more avenues to get this message out to the public. So thank you guys so much over at Golden Valley Tractor for the support. Right now, John, for West Central Missouri, for all the counties, with the data that is in right now, this will change as we go into tomorrow evening and Saturday morning. We'll fine tune it at that time, but based on everything right now, 2 to 5 inches of snow for West Central Missouri and a tenth to a half inch of ice. That's our going forecast. That's our starting forecast. I didn't put a forecast out there last weekend like several of the forecasters and TV stations did. First forecast, and we're going to fine tune it, 2 to 5 inches of snow for West Central Missouri, a tenth to a half inch of ice. Hi, Lynn. Florence, let's take a look at it. Let's take a look at Florence. For that, I'm going to use a different map here to show you. Okay, so you are just east of kind of the counties that we serve here, West Central Missouri. I catch everybody. We got people in Kansas City, Springfield, Pittsburgh, Kansas. So I try to encompass all the areas, but kind of fine tune for West Central Missouri. So, give me just 1 second. A guy's trying to find my live stream. So I've got the same model that we were looking at, and we're going to put this into motion. You kind of see what's kind of expected for you. So right up here is the timestamp. So we're going to go over to, there's Saturday. Now remember, here's your marker right here. That's Florence. So, actually, let's go to winter radar. There we go. So looks like Florence will get hit with some sleet and freezing rain right at midnight is when it starts to come into your area. We'll call it after 9 o'clock Saturday night. Okay, after 9 o'clock Saturday night, you'll start to see some precipitation. Likely will not get that bad till after midnight in Florence. Now let's jump over to GFS. This is a different model. So this is Saturday, 3 p.m. So this particular model, the GFS, is showing precipitation could start as early as around 3 o'clock for west central Missouri and for you over there in Florence. That's the reason why, if you notice my forecast that I posted, we have that chance of precipitation coming in after 3 o'clock on Saturday. Now, we're likely not going to see any travel implications till probably after 9 o'clock, probably after midnight, the further east you go out of west central Missouri. We can take a look at total snowfall for Florence. About 6.5 inches of snow according to this model. This is showing 8.5. And this is the brand new GFS model that just come out. About 6 inches in Warsaw, 7.5 in Lincoln. Butler, 5.5. Harrisonville, 8.5. Now, granted, this is still 48 hours out. This is not the best model to be looking out more than, it does a pretty good job when you look out more than, say, 5 or 6 days. It gives us a trend. But, again, going forecast for west central Missouri, we're looking at 2 to 5 inches of snowfall and 1/10 of an inch of ice to 1/2 inch of ice expected, whether you're in Harrisonville, Warrensburg, Sedalia, Warsaw, Clinton, Osceola, Butler, Nevada. That's going to be kind of the going forecast that we're going to start with, and I'll continue to fine-tune that as more recent data continues to come in. Yeah, Jessica. And again, Jessica put a mention. I hope you're right. KY3 is saying 1/2 inch to 1 inch of ice north of Bolivar. We saw several models showing 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch. It very well, we could get up to 1 inch of ice, maybe. But again, this storm system is in the Pacific Ocean right now. It hadn't even made landfall in the United States. So it all depends on where that low tracks. It had plenty of moisture to work with. We're not denying that. But as far as coming up with concrete, hey, we're going to get 1/2 inch ice and 8 inches of snow in Clinton. We can't do that as forecasters. We're not supposed to do that as forecasters. We're only as good as the data that we get, and I'm not going to sit there and throw out a foot of snow just to where I get you guys to watch my streams. And that's what happens a lot out there, is a lot of clickbait. Joe, you got on YouTube, little buddy. Good to see you, my man. Very cold temperatures next week, guys. We're going to be having lows in the negative figures, wind chills in double negative figures. Very, very cold next week for the next 10 days, starting on Monday. Frank, nobody wants to talk about global warming for some reason. Hi, Jojo. Warsaw. Yep. Same forecast. 2 to 5 inches snow and 0.10 to a half inch of ice is going forecast for west central Missouri. I-70 and north, that's up there in Joe's neck of the woods. You can expect probably a higher snowfall total than less ice totals. The reason why our snow totals are only 2 to 5 inches is because we have to account for freezing rain and sleet, and that brings our snow total down. So, kind of, if you guys kind of came on late, I'm just gonna run through this real quick. Some of the visuals. So this is what we know. We're gonna have extreme cold coming in Monday. We're going to have blowing snow on Sunday, sleet and freezing rain throughout the area. Now, depending on where that low tracks, if you look at the furthest one south, if that low tracks further south, means all snow for west central Missouri. If it's a little bit further north, up into southeast Kansas, more freezing rain for us, less snow. And if it's a little bit further north in eastern Kansas, we're going to have more sleet and freezing rain and less snow. Now take a look. We got 3 different forecasts depending on where that low pressure is. And look at the distance between them. Only 120-mile difference between where that low pressure can be and our forecast changes. So and this thing is still out in the Pacific Ocean. So that's the reason why we're just going with a starting forecast today, and then we're going to fine tune it as we go into tomorrow night, Friday night, and Saturday morning. So what are our hazards throughout the area? Our snow threat is moderate. And again, 2 to 5 inches of snow. If we get that snowfall amount, we're going to have some issues out there on the road. The wind threat is very high, and the reason we are going to have sustained winds, 25 to 35 miles per hour gust, that is going to be coming in Saturday night and Sunday. If we get the snowfall, if we get the ice, that wind is going to play a big part to cause many power outages, especially in the rural communities. Our freezing precip, that's our sleet and freezing rain, borderline on the high range, where I think that's going to be our biggest issue here in west central Missouri. It's going to be the ice accumulations. So our overall winter storm threat is kind of right in between moderate and high. So we definitely need to get prepared for it. We have all day tomorrow. We have most of all day on Saturday to get prepared. Make sure you have, means of heat. If you have a generator, I'm not telling you guys to go buy every loaf of bread and all the milk and all the candy in Walmart, but you're just going to have to realize there could be a full day or day and a half, maybe 2 days, that you will not be able to make a trip to town. So just prepare, because one thing for sure, we're going to have brutally cold temperatures coming in next week, and we're going to have winter weather to have to deal with Saturday night into Sunday. Yeah, it is going to move quickly. Actually, that snow band on the back side of that low pressure system that's going to be coming across is going to be fairly quick. I'm guessing probably for west central Missouri about 6 to 8 hours of snowfall, and for those north of I-70 maybe probably 6 to 10 hours of snowfall for those north of I-70. So obviously you're going to get a little bit higher snow totals north of I-70. Found some kerosene on sale, $7 a gallon in North Carolina. Holy cow. Well, Amy, it kind of depends on when they go back. Um, I do know that there are some schools around here start Monday. I think Monday morning, if your kids go back to school on Monday, I don't think they're going to have school Monday. If they go back Tuesday, a lot of the rural schools, the rural roads are likely still going to be slick Tuesday morning. And then, of course, Wednesday, hopefully, we'll get some treatment down. That cold air is going to be ushering in, and that's going to kind of help dry the roads a little bit. And I'm banking Wednesday morning on, we shouldn't have too many travel implications. On Sunday, yeah. I mean, you have to keep in mind that you got to have snowfall rate of about half inch an hour and 40-mile-an-hour winds, and you can have a blizzard warning. So we're going to have winds gusting up to 30, 35 miles per hour Sunday. So yeah, it's going to look awfully mean out there at times on Sunday. It's going to look mean. Absolutely, Greg. My pleasure, buddy. Hey, I've missed a couple people, and I'm sorry, but thank you guys for the support. I know we had several people donate stars on Facebook. We had several super chats earlier, and seeing that I know we've had some super chats and super stickers and stars coming in. Thank you guys so much, and this is what helps all of the software, all the streaming software. All this comes out of my own pocket, and thanks to you guys and your generosity, you guys have allowed me to fund nearly 100% of everything that I do at Subby's Weather Talk. And then, of course, I get the chance to work at KDKD, Radford Media Group. They give me an opportunity to come and be able to have so many more ways to be able to get information out to more people. So a big thanks to them, to a great partnership that we have. We got some great things planned for 2025. So thank you guys so much for all the donations during this live stream. I couldn't do it without you. So let's take a look at one more thing here, guys. I think I pretty much answered everybody's question. Joe, what are you looking for up near Liberty? Liberty right now is 4 to 8 inches of snow, maybe a little bit of ice, but snow is going to be your big problem up there. It's going to be the snowfall in Liberty. It is, Laura. One thing that I try to do, it shouldn't be scary. If you practice, have a plan, and prepare, those are the 3 P's. Practice, plan, prepare. If you have those 3 P's, you should have confidence knowing that, hey, even if electricity goes out, we got a means to be able to keep everybody warm in the family. We got plenty of food. We can throw something out on the grill, whatever the case may be. If we just prepare and know what's coming at us, especially during severe weather in the springtime. The one thing I will not ever do is fearmonger and put the fear into you guys, just so that you can watch the stream. That's what kind of sets us apart from everybody else, is being able to give you the information to allow you to prepare, so kind of calms your anxiety a little bit. And we know no matter what happens, we're gonna make through it just fine. And like I said, guys, this is not gonna be Armageddon. We just got to be thinking ahead of time, be prepared. Get a subscription to Netflix. Sunday's gonna be a great day to do some binge watching. Four to 8 north of Warrensburg. Yeah, you can probably that's a pretty decent assumption, Greg. it's going to change tomorrow, buddy. It's going to change tomorrow by 10 o'clock tomorrow night. And Saturday morning, those totals are going to change. I really think they will. Because what these models do, they're sampling imaginary data. Until that storm system comes onto land, and we have weather stations in California, National Weather Service, that will be sending balloons up into the storm. We have real data. Then we can really be able to know what this storm is capable of. So I think we're going to see a few changes of the forecast, but we'll have to wait and see. Yes, please hit the like button, guys. The more likes we have on this stream, the further out that YouTube algorithms will send this information. I appreciate that. Yeah, yep. Sedalia is going to be with us. And again, my biggest concern, and it had been all week, and you guys heard me say it several times, my biggest concern is not with the snowfall, but with the ice accumulations, because so many problems can come out of an ice storm, and I just don't want to see that happen here in west central Missouri. As soon as that storm system, actually, let's jump over here to the HRRR. This is the short-term model. So right now, that storm system, as of about an hour ago, was out here. Hadn't even hit landfall yet. As soon as this storm system comes onto shore, the National Weather Services along Washington and California, Nevada, they are all going to start sending up their weather balloons. Okay, and it's going to sample real-time data. What the humidity is, what the wind speeds is, how strong is the barometric pressure, how weak is the barometric pressure, how deep is the low. And it's going to, and that is going to help tremendously on when this system is going to be making its way across. And I can show a little bit better model here. I love this thing. I love Windy. So there is our storm system, and as it moves to the east, it's going to be sucked up by this bad boy right here. Oh, let me get where you can see it. These are just off the coast of California. As they move east, this big system is going to take over. And then it's going to slide down here and eventually land somewhere in this area in the corner of Kansas, Missouri, Arkansas, and Oklahoma. Excuse me. And that, my friends, is one powerhouse of a system. All right, guys. I tell you what, that's all the information I got for tonight. So, just remember, going forecast right now, we're going to fine tune it. All of west central Missouri, 2 to 5 inches of snowfall. 1/10 to 1/2 inch of ice. That's what we're really concerned about. And then tomorrow night, depending on what the models continue to trend in the same direction, I will just update it on our social media sites. If I feel like it's worth going back live again tomorrow night to explain to you guys what's going on, I'll be more than happy to do that. But for right now, We will continue to monitor all the conditions, monitor the storm system as it comes into land. I'm planning on myself staying up till 10 o'clock tonight to watch the new models come out, and the short-term models will start to grab hold of them, and we'll have a pretty good idea of what's going to happen as we get a little closer to tomorrow evening, and I will be updating. And of course, tomorrow morning I'll have an update also. Make sure you follow 95.3 KDKD Facebook page, all of my social media, Subby's Weather Talk on Facebook, and I will be putting updates on this storm system tomorrow morning around 5 a.m. I'll do it, Joe. All right, guys. You guys take care. Stay weather aware. Remember the 3 P's. You know, we have to practice, we need to prepare, and we need to plan. You do those 3 P's, we'll get through this just fine. We just need to